Was it?
Yeah, feminism is an epic fail.
Why do you say that?
We still have women who think that liberation means sexuality and just doing whatever you want. That is not liberation. That is slavery. I mean, right now, 70% of men who are incarcerated, they're coming from single-parent homes, which means these men don't have daddies. So my question then becomes, don't we see a problem with single-parent homes? What is it in your psyche as a man that says to you, it's okay? What is it in your psyche as a woman that says it's okay to give this man a child who's not okay?
You're 41?
I'm 41. Going
Why
into
you still
42.
Why you still looking 25?
I know. I take care of myself, TKay.
Agatha.
Yes.
Them little boys are gonna have it all twisted and hit you up and what?
They do that, and I tell them, "Ke mama na lona bo ngwana." Ga le itse ba golo ka ntle lona bana ke lona le ntse a nna.
Amazing host, and he's going to have many more amazing people on his show. And I just hope that you guys grow with him on his journey. And we never know how big this is going to get. So let's just see where you take this. Take this to 2.0.
All right.
Bizo la me ke bofelo ke batla go tshwana le tshepo ke batla go tshwana tlhalefo ke spana ka thata ke tinto 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 tinto.
Well, she's in the building and her name is Agatha Atlholang. Good morning and welcome to the show. How you doing?
TKay.
It's been a long time. Hi.
Misto, it's been more than
2 years.
More than 2 years.
More than 2 years.
Yeah. Before COVID?
Before COVID.
Yeah.
Maybe like a year before COVID.
Like a year before COVID.
So I thought you don't really need any introduction because apparently you caused some crazy stuff going on social media. What do you do, Agatha?
I'm just as surprised as you are because I just speak the truth.
Agatha on social media. Everybody asked me like, yo, bro, fam, are you sure that you're bringing Agatha to the show? I was like, yeah, for sure. But like, can I know why you asking me? It's like, yo, it's gonna be a mess. One of my good friends literally texted me. He's like, yo, it's gonna be a mess.
Why is it that people always think that? You know?
What do you in your opinion though? What do you think that's all about?
Okay. To be quite honest with you, TKay, I have conversations that we're not ready to have, but we're going to be forced to have.
Right.
Because of where we are and because of what's happening in our country and what's happening to our psyches as human beings and where our psyche wants to take us.
Right.
I'm in the wellness industry and wellness, we're looking at authenticity.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, we live in a world where your ego and your persona is what drives you and that's how you live. You don't exactly know that there's the self, there's the real you, the authentic you.
Yeah.
Now that's where we're going and that's where wellness is trying to take us because without authenticity, we cannot be the best version of ourselves.
That's right.
But in order to get to authenticity, you've got to go into the muck and the mire. You got to dig. Now down there, it's deeper.
It's messy.
It's messy there.
It's really messy.
So it takes a lot of courage for someone to hold on to the mantle and say, you know what, there's somewhere where I want to take people. And it's how I have a vision for Botswana.
Right.
I'm looking at a Botswana that is healthy, mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
And also I'm looking at our Vision 2036, prosperity for all Botswana.
Right.
You cannot have prosperity if people are not well, mind, body, and soul.
I like that.
So also looking at the president's reset agenda. It's got a couple of pillars there, but the pillar that I'm particularly interested in is the 1 year mindset change.
I like that. So much to talk about at 8:15. But yesterday you and I rubbed some shoulders.
Yeah.
With some amazing people.
Definitely.
Ministers even.
Jeez.
And I even shook hands with ministers. I was like, I will not.
Stick with me, TKay.
You know what?
Stick with me.
But for those of you that definitely need to know and should know and must know about what was happening yesterday. Yesterday was an incredible day.
Yeah.
Organized by Agatha in collaboration with Blue Tree, the World of Golf. So every year in November, the world draws its attention to health conditions and issues that affect men. Prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health and suicide, right? This is done through a global phenomenon and an annual event dubbed Movember.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is a portmanteau. I didn't even know this word until I had to read this profile. I was like, oh, okay, of the Australian English diminutive word of mustache. So the Mo and November put together, then you would have Movember. And so you and Blue Tree had this amazing event titled and dubbed Aha Re, Aha Chab.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell us why that was important. And big congratulations for that. I think the event was very successful.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of men came there.
Yeah.
I was part of that.
Yeah.
Exercises, great talk, great conversations, great encouragements and all of that.
Yeah.
But we'll dig deep into everything that was said.
Yeah.
But tell me why that was important for you and them to collaborate and bring it out.
Blue Tree World of Golf, this is actually how it started.
Yeah.
I was actually training one of the directors at some point in my life.
Yeah.
And then after COVID, I saw the state in which our well-being was in. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's time to come up with a program that is going to help people. As a certified life coach, that's part of my job. That's what I do. So I came up with a program called Wellness in Motion, TKay.
Right.
Now, this program is all about helping you to find yourself. And it doesn't only do that, it also speaks to corporates in that it's all about team building.
Yeah.
So I sold them a concept and I said, gentlemen, I have this concept called Wellness in Motion, TKay. So it's all about building your employees and helping them to work together.
Yeah.
Because from COVID, what I am seeing as a coach is that we just want people to come back into their offices, TK. We are not taking into consideration the well-being of people and what people have been experiencing during the lockdown, and also the trauma that people have just gone through, and just people recognizing that, hey, maybe the life I used to live was not actually a real life. So now I have to recalibrate. I have to rethink. I have to figure myself out.
Right.
Some of us were fortunate enough to come back to our businesses and our companies. Some people have absolutely nothing to come back to.
Man, imagine that.
Yeah, and corporate needs to look into that. And that's why I created that program. So Blue Tree called me and they said, you know what? Come and talk to our employees, come and motivate them, come and help us build the team. They were totally impressed with what I had to say. And they said to me, you know what, if you have any events, if you want to do anything, come through. Let's see how we can work together.
Right.
And they believed in what I had to say, because Blue Tree, you know, they don't sell alcohol, right?
Right.
They're all about building the family. And that's what I got to learn, because as you coach employees, you've got to make them understand the vision of the company. And a lot of the times what happens is you hire people and you don't explain the vision. All you explain is the salary and maybe the job description.
Right.
But then that robs the employee of setting personal goals that align with the company goals. And therefore you have, if an employee does that, you have a motivated employee because they know why they're there and they know what they're getting from the company. There's a goal there.
Right.
So you have this employee who's actually motivated to come to work and actually do the work. So then November came through. I think I did the program for them sometime in August. November came through. I'm very passionate about men. You know that about
Definitely.
me. Very, very passionate about men. I feel men are still leaders. I get a lot of flack for saying that.
You're still getting flack for that?
I get it. I get it all the time.
Even up to now, man.
People say I apologize for men, but I don't care. You see, for me, the thing is I know who I am. I know where I'm going. So that stuff doesn't bother me. It's just small stuff.
Right.
So I thought to myself, we don't have events for men, but we're the same women crying over the actions of men. This has never made sense to me. And I've always said, if you cannot empower one gender and leave the other gender behind, or empower one gender and take away from the other gender.
Can't do it.
It doesn't happen. You're going to create another problem.
Right.
So what we're doing now is we're really starting to go in and focus on the boy child. That's what I want to do. Boy child and men's events. Now, the beauty about men is that they're very decisive, and you give them a goal, they run with it. So you'll find that as a woman, you just sit back, you tell the guys what to do, and men are oriented like that. They just want to do.
Right.
So they were like, I sold them the concept. They said, okay, let's run with it. I did my part. I got the speakers, with my partner, and we did what we needed to do. And we came up with a concept, and we said, okay, what are we going to do? We said November is the month of men.
Yeah.
Let's have an event that speaks only to men.
Right.
That's for men. Right. And let's get men on board to help us do this event, because they understand each other better. And that's another thing. Women don't understand men. They don't.
Yeah, you say something striking over at a panel discussion where you say a woman can never teach a man
how to be a man. Never.
And I thought that was striking.
Never. Yeah. And this is why I'm an advocate for a 2-parent home.
Right.
Especially when you're raising 2 children especially when you're raising a son.
Yeah.
A girl child needs her dad, definitely.
Yeah.
But a boy child loses his identity when he doesn't have his father.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
The girl child at least has the mother. So it's very problematic. So anyway, going back to the event, then we decided I had to sit down and really figure out what we were going to call it. Now, my program is called Ikage Motswana. Under Ikage Motswana, we have Ikage Raitso, Ikage Maitso, Ikage Monana.
Nice.
And then I thought to myself, okay, this is a man's event. Right. Because if you build the man, you build the nation. So let's do it like that. A lot of the times we're always throwing these English words around. But so what
is it about, sorry to interject.
Yeah, no.
What is it about building a man that says then you would be building a nation compared to building a woman? Would you ever say that when you're building a woman, you're building a nation? I hope I phrased my question correctly.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
This is how it works, TK. We are all necessary to get to where we want to get to.
I like that.
The men are necessary, the women are necessary, the children are necessary.
Right.
When one of them is not developed properly, we have chaos. If the kids are not developed, we've got chaos. If the women are not developed, we've got chaos.
Yeah.
If the men are not developed, we've got chaos. It's a chain.
I like that.
For some reason, human beings think they can do without men, do without women, or do without children. It doesn't work like that. Everything is a system. It has to collaborate. And it's so difficult to get people to understand this. I don't know why. And you remember what I said when I asked, do you know how long the world has been in existence? And nobody could answer me. This world has been here for 4.5 billion years. We're coming TK, and we think we can change structures and do this and do. That's arrogance.
Right.
We should be humble enough to try to understand how this world works.
Right.
How do men work? How do women work? How do children function? And that's why we've got psychology. That's why we've got life coaching. That's why we've got our spiritual teachers. And we don't have these people on board.
Right.
We're trying to come up with these systems and great systems, but nothing's working, fam. Nothing's working because the life coach is not there.
Yeah.
The psychologist isn't there.
Yeah.
The pastor isn't there. And for some reason, we think we can just create this human being who's going to be fully functional, who's not going to rape, who's not going to beat, who's not going to be passive aggressive.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
So why was it important? So I'm going to name some of the people that spoke at the event, right?
Yeah.
And I need you to tell me why you chose these people, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the first name was the Honorable Minister, Mr. Dikolote.
Reason we got him on board is because of what we do. Genuine Fitness, which is my company, is all about, it's a health and wellness fitness company.
Yeah.
We're all about well-being.
Right.
And what better way than to officiate the whole ceremony with the minister. And also to get people to understand that this is a ministry that needs us to come on board. And to also say that we are here, minister, if you need any help. We have people in Botswana. They are very competent. They are very conversant with the wellness industry. I mean, I've been in this thing for more than 10 years, fam. Like, I know my stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Know?
Yes, you do.
So, and there are other trainers. There are other people. And I'm not only talking about personal trainers. I'm also talking about dingaka, doctors. We're talking about psychologists. We're talking about all of that. So it was also to say, this is a serious thing. This is where Blue Tree is going. This is where Genuine Fitness is going. And we also want to help the Ministry of Health do what it needs to do and also align with what it's trying to align with for the betterment of Botswana. This is not a, sometimes when I talk, I think people think this whole thing is about me. Listen, I'm healthy. I'm fit. I've got the tools. I've got this on check. I'm not saying that my life is perfect, but I know where to go. You know what I'm saying? When I'm going through the most, I mean, that's how I survive social media. Somebody else could have killed themselves, But
because they be saying a lot of things.
Yeah.
They say a lot of things.
And the thing is, I had to come into my coaching persona in order to get through that. And that's why I'm here today. So the event, having the minister on board, was all about saying, re teng re batla go thusa ibile re na le ditsompelo gore men to re isitse sekolong so that we can come back and add to the nation.
And I think his presence spoke a lot of volume to the idea that you put on the table to build a man and therefore build a nation.
Exactly. And it's great that he's a guy.
You know what I mean? Such a cool gentleman, by the way.
Very, very cool.
He shook my hand. He shook my hand with that smile on his face. Like, yeah.
And he looks very well. You see,
he
that's
looks
the
super
thing.
well.
His skin is it's nice and clean.
Yes,
and
he's looking after himself. He's looking after himself.
He is.
Okay, so the second name was the CEO of Bomade, Mr. Moraki Mokhosana.
Mr. Mokhosana is somebody I know. He is actually my uncle.
One time.
When I was right after TS, I think it was 2001 or something like that. I don't know. I was at BAC. I had to come down here to BAC.
Right.
My uncle, I stayed with my uncle, Moraki Mokhosana.
Yeah.
That man, I'm one of the fortunate ones, You know how people say their uncles abuse them and all of that?
Yeah.
My uncle taught me personal responsibility. He sat me down and he said, I'm not your father and I'm not your mother.
Yeah.
You come here, you do what you need to do. I'm not going to police you. You come from a very good background. You've got a mother and a father. You've done well at school. You know what you need to do here. I'm not going to tell you to come home at a certain time. You're going to learn how to manage yourself. And that is what I appreciated about my uncle.
Yeah.
So I've seen him grow. I've seen him become the man that he is today. And for some reason, everything just works out. Here he is. He's the CEO of Bomade, and I'm in the wellness space.
It's crazy.
I know, and I just said, Uncle Ricky, can you please just come and talk and just use this platform to encourage men.
Yeah.
He's done Iron Man. He's done the Himalayas. He's done
shocked. I was
all sorts
shocked
of things.
at that history about him and his bios. Like, whoa.
But you've got to understand something about my uncle. He comes from a family where there was a lot of sport. There was a lot of sport going on there. Just like me, my mom was into tennis. My mom was into tennis because of his mom.
Amazing.
May both their souls rest in peace.
Yeah.
And my uncle actually lost his father this year, and so did I.
Wow.
So it's quite interesting. So everything just worked out.
He had a lot of things to say, but some of the things that he said about curbing some of these crazy things that happen to men.
Yeah.
We need to improve our diet as men.
Yeah.
We also need to maintain a healthy weight.
Yeah.
We also need to regularly exercise.
Yeah.
And quit drinking and smoking.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of gentlemen were like, a lot of jitters here and there when it came to drinking.
Yeah.
But I think he was one of the people that spoke that kind of gave us direction into what to do and what to not do.
Absolutely. And don't forget that this is the whole CEO of a medical aid service provider. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they've got the stats.
Right.
They know exactly what's going on with the men. But you see, unfortunately, with men, the problem is because you're all about doing, you forget to take care of yourselves. And that's why I think a lot of the times that's where the woman steps in. That's why your wife or the person in your life packs your lunch. Because you kind of forget these things. Honey, have you done this? Honey, have you eaten? Honey, have you... And women don't understand their role. You understand? And we're not saying that women should just stay in the kitchen all day.
Right.
There are things that we have been created to be able to do because we're better. Women are more calm. They don't have to go off and rush off and do a whole lot of things. The reason why a lot of women are in their masculine now is because the men aren't showing up, and we can understand that. But really, women are nurturers. And that's why we lose our nurturing aspect, because the working environment, if you don't know how to balance it out as a woman, you start becoming like a man. And that's a no-go area. When a woman is in her masculine, she doesn't, she doesn't nurture the little girls in the office.
Yeah.
She's a guy. We don't need a guy. We need a woman. You need to lead with your feminine. Men lead with their masculine. So even in the office, there's a way you lead as a woman. 8:30
is your time. 31 just got to 31 actually on the Gist 2.0. I'm speaking to live coach Agatha, who is in the building, and we're talking about yesterday's event, Achare Achachaba.
Yeah.
When you build a man, you build a nation. And so much more that we need to speak about. Before we get to this short break, right?
Yeah.
What came out very, very predominantly, right, was the fact that, and this was coming out from a doctor, a medical doctor, we'll say what his name was. We're scared as men to go check ourselves at the hospital. Yeah. But what I didn't really find out was the actual real reason why most men are scared of checking themselves at the medical checking their medicals and getting tested. We'll have that conversation right after this. You're on the Juice 2.0. Stay tuned. But for the conversation that you and I and Agatha are having, Achachaba, you text me and call me, have your say on it as well. Agatha, we're back.
Yeah, bo.
And the question had been, why do you think gentlemen are scared to, go to the hospital and check? Apparently, there's a gentleman who said we'd rather drive our ladies over there and just wait for them in the parking lot and not get tested ourselves. What's up with that? What's going on with us?
And I think there is an element maybe of fear, but I think also there's more of just personal neglect. You understand?
Okay.
And not connecting with yourself as a human being and understanding that you're a mind, you're a body, and that you're a soul, and that you need to take care of yourself.
Right.
Men are very external. They're all about taking care of other people. You see? And like I said, it's more of personal neglect and just putting yourself on the back seat and doing for others. That's how it's a collective, it's in the collective unconscious of men.
Right.
Yeah. Like that is not going to change. I think men are wired that way. But I think once we know this, it's up to us to teach our sons that you are important and we need you healthy. You are of no use to your community. Unhealthy.
Very.
You understand what I'm saying? You're of no use to your wife, to your children, to members of your society if you are not healthy as a man.
Yeah.
What is the point of being married to a man who's got $1 million in his bank account, who can provide, who can do all these things?
Right.
And here we are, we've got 2 little kids. What am I going to do once you get hit by a heart attack? Do you know what I'm saying? So men need to be holistic in their, approach to being men.
Right.
And that involves well-being. That's my point.
And you spoke, and there were crazy stats that we got from the police.
Yeah.
When it came to suicide, it's mostly men, 70% apparently. And the ages is from 21 going up 45. And then road accidents as well, mostly men. And then when it comes to GBV, the victims is the opposite. It's the women, but the perpetrators
are the men. Yeah.
And then I think you sought to try and explain some of the reasons why we're having some of these stats. And what I love remarkably from what you started to say was that an example of a tree.
Yeah.
You say a tree is the leaves, it's the trunk, and the roots.
Yeah.
Please remind us, also, just give the listener an overview of what you try to speak around what a tree, the leaves, and the roots are, with the idea to try and explain some of the stats about a man. And
maybe let me just give you an overview of a background of why I am like that.
Yeah.
Remember, in 2016, I suffered depression and I went to India.
Right.
I didn't even know I was depressed. I just knew that something was not right. I was forgetting stuff and all of that.
So is that like a thing? People go to India when
Dude, you need to go to India.
Because you're the third person now that I know.
Nobody knew what was wrong with me because I was forgetting my clients.
Yeah.
I was forgetting where the car keys were. At that time, I was still epileptic. So I thought it was my epilepsy. So when I got to India, what happened was my neurologist, as I was talking and telling him what was going on with me, he actually then thought to himself, okay, she's going on and on like this, but I think I need her to see a clinical psychologist. I went to see a clinical psychologist who diagnosed me, and there was a root to my depression and to my forgetfulness and all of that. And funny enough, TK, I was actually misdiagnosed when I was 15. I wasn't epileptic.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not what it was. But anyway, let's not go into that one. But in the bottom line is, when I came back and then I got myself a life coach in the US as well.
Yeah.
So I had this clinical psychologist in India. I had this life coach in the US. And I was working with these people to really see what was going on with me. This was a learning curve.
Right.
I realized that there were things I was not dealing with.
Yes.
From my mother's death to an abusive relationship I had been in at one point in my life.
Right.
And, I don't want to play the victim, but I had my own form of brutality in terms of inflicting at that point, So, it's a two-way thing,
Right, right.
And going through all those things, I just I got to an appreciation of how the psyche works.
Yeah.
And as I was on my journey of figuring myself out, that's when I enrolled into a course of life coaching, because I realized that, it's not just the forgetfulness. There are things inside of me that are happening inside of me that I'm unconscious about, and they are creating these problems, this reality of mine that I don't like.
Right.
Right. And this is what people don't get. They think their external is just things that are caused by people outside.
But there's a root in there.
There's a lot going on inside of you. And that's why visiting a psychologist is very, very important.
Right.
Being with a life coach is very important. So in any case, I got an appreciation of that. And life coaching, having coached different men, different women, teenagers and all the like.
Right.
My analysis is there is a root, and we need to get to the root. What we're seeing is symptoms. What we're seeing is the aftermath of what's exactly going on. So while we were there, as everybody was talking, I got it, and we understood, and they were right about what they were saying. But I was saying, but we're missing the point. There's where all this is coming from. And we don't want to have a conversation of where this is coming from.
Getting around the bush from it.
And I also realized that even, sometimes when we're having these conversations, people start going back to the police officer. The police officer is only telling you the statistics. He can't tell you the root cause of this. You understand?
Right.
I mean, right now, 70% of men who are incarcerated, they're coming from single-parent homes, which means these men don't have daddies. So my question then becomes, don't we see a problem with single-parent homes? Not that there's something wrong with you as a parent or how you're raising your child.
Yeah.
But there's something that is lacking in these little boys.
Spoke about a family unit.
Yeah, that's causing them to go to the street to define their masculinity because there's no daddy in the home.
So they'd rather look for it somewhere else.
TKay, in 2019, 83.8% of the births, Botswana, this is statistics Botswana telling us, not Agatha.
Right.
83.8% of the children who were born in 2019, I hope you're listening, guys. Those kids are from single parents, single mothers.
Jeez, man.
So we have a nation. This is disturbing, Botswana. And this is a call to both men and women, because the question is, what is it in your psyche as a man that says to you, it's okay? What is it in your psyche as a woman that says it's okay to give this man a child who's not okay?
Let's put a pin on that. It's getting hot. 8:45 is your time on the Juice 2.0. And we already have our winner. His name is Mr. Raps, man. Always on the Juice 2.0. And he knows how many stores we have, countrywide Woolworth stores. And that's 17. That's the answer. Did you know that, Agatha?
I didn't know.
Yeah?
But I love Woolworths. I remember I put out a post one time. I had my food from Woolworths, and I got backlash for that.
You did?
Yeah. So what are you saying? That we who
buy somewhere else?
I was like, I'm done with you.
Why is that such a thing? It's such a thing when it comes to private and public schools. It's such a thing when
it's self-esteem. We're just taught to hate ourselves.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. But let's get back into the conversation, right? We're about to wrap up. Yeah. Sadly, we don't have so much time.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation that's worth having.
Yeah.
A conversation around men.
Yeah.
A conversation about going to the roots.
Yes.
Of what this exhibition or what this expression of this character, what's this? It's coming from somewhere.
A statement like men do better is very... Okay, let me try and be polite. It's very unsophisticated.
Right. Right.
It doesn't say anything. It doesn't go deep into, but what's causing me to not do better? Why am I the way that I am? The question is, what is it in our society, or how are we raising our children?
Yes.
What are our social structures like
that
are creating these problems? That is the question that we should be asking ourselves. What philosophies are we using? Right. What kind of values do we have?
So it's deeper than just...
Yeah, it's deeper than men do better. You know, the moment somebody utters that statement, I check out.
Or men are trash.
Or men are trash. Now I check out real fast because I'm very educated in my own right. I'm a very smart, intelligent young person.
I mean, that.
Young. I'm 41. You know, I've got consciousness.
You're 41?
I'm 41. Going
why
into
you still
42.
Why are you still looking 25?
I know. I take care of myself, TKay.
Agatha.
Yes.
Them little boys are gonna have it all twisted and hit you up and what?
They do that, and I tell them, "Ke mama na lona bongwana." You know, that kind of thing. So I always feel like if you want to have a conversation with me, don't come at me. Come with your facts.
Yeah.
Be educated. Be articulate. Know exactly where you want us to go.
Know how to back it up.
Know how to back it up and know where we're going. And a lot of the times when we're having conversations from our feelings. Because when the shoe fits, it fits. You know what I'm saying? But I need to stop being so emotional. We need to work on ourselves and on our trauma so that when somebody's talking to you about something or we're having a conversation, you shouldn't put yourself in there. We're having a broad conversation. We're not saying TKay urile. We are saying situation in tsejana. This is, but want to personalize conversations too much. That's why even when they're on social media platforms, you'll find that if they're in two different political parties, they can't come to an understanding of let's agree to disagree, but I can see why you say what you're saying. We are not very good with conversations, and it's because we were never allowed to express ourselves. But you see, the thing with me is I come from a family where children were heard. We used to sit at a dinner table where we used to have conversations. We used to argue.
So the background is there.
That is why I talk too much, as they say. And I'm not stopping. And the thing is, we need to have these conversations around men and saying, how are we going to empower our men? Because even now, TKay, I've got to be honest with you. The way we try to empower women, I feel it was just... It was an epic fail.
Was it?
Yeah, feminism is an epic fail.
Why do you say that?
We still have women who think that liberation means sexuality and just doing whatever you want. That is not liberation. That is slavery. You know? So we still have women who think that a job is what defines them. Being in such a high position is what defines them. When there's so much more. There's what you are, there is who you are. Your job is gone. It has an expiry date, my brother.
It does.
A lot of people, when they leave corporate, they have nowhere to go afterwards. And it's sad because as we were building, we forgot to build our marriages and our families and our children so that we could come back to them when we no longer have corporate. It's so sad the way the whole structure is. We're in the matrix. We need to get out of the matrix. And those who have an ear to listen, go out there, find the truth about this world and how this world works so that you can be the best version of yourself. So much is going on. Look at inflation.
It's crazy.
And if you don't have the right mind, my brother, you are either going to kill yourself or you're just going to do some things that are you're going to end up ulumotoronko. So men need to learn, Hore. They matter. They need to understand that this society needs them, not needs.
I think that conversation is very important for a man that's listening now because, like you say, it's not a conversation that you ordinarily hear every day.
TKay, right now.
So that's like glimmer of hope when you hear this conversation and you're a man. You're like, oh wait, I matter. I'm needed. So I shouldn't kill myself.
Exactly. In the studio right now, if a guy comes here with a gun, you too, we're looking at you. First, I'm going underneath the table. So you better sort that out.
Definitely.
So, everybody has their role. When it comes to taking care of the kids and soothing the kids, we're there as women and soothing our men. It's important.
So what do you make of gender roles? Shucks, our time is, man.
Maybe I should come next time.
Maybe you need to come back. You know why? Because there's also a very, very heated conversation around gender roles.
TKay, there's what you are and there's who you are. Right. We don't know the difference between these two. What I am is a life coach.
Right.
What you are is a CEO. What you are is a doctor. What you are is an accountant.
Right.
Who you are is a totally different thing
altogether.
And we don't know about that who you are because we have not been taught to figure out who we are. We've been taught to go to school, try and get a degree or whatever it is, be successful, make money, and then there's nothing after that. Because you don't know who you are. That's why even when you get the money, you abuse yourself because you don't know who you are. And that's why you find yourself only into drugs and all sorts, only in a high position, and you don't know. You know, it's sad. It's a mess. And the call really.
Yeah.
Guys, in this world, you are here as gentlemen to be passionate about something that is very purposeful. That will allow you to leave a legacy. That's who you are as a man. So in light of these three things, go and figure out
I like that. Agatha, I appreciate you so much. We need a second part to this because time is always jealous and there's so much more to even just talk about. I appreciate you for making time this morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it had been a long time, and just from yesterday I felt, look, we needed to give people just what's happening, what's been happening over.
And that's going to be an annual event. So many corporates were there. We were very thankful for everybody who came through.
Right.
And next year it's going to be bigger and better, and we really need to start doing things for our men and our boys, and we need to do things that bring our men and our our women and our men together.
Amazing. Until next time we speak, have a good one.
Likewise, TK. Thanks for having me.
Bye. What's going on, YouTube? My name is TKay of the Juice 2.0. I'm just here to say thank you very much for checking our video, and click subscribe, like, and the notification button for more content just like that.